against reality. You're just defining something differently or looking at it from a different angle and saying, "Oh, look, see, we believe different things, or what you believe is ridiculous compared to what I'm actually seeing."
No, you're making shit up, and he's not. He's saying there's the ground, there's the sky, and you're saying all the other
question isn't actually. The question isn't actually, hey, is there sky above me and sky below me? It's, hey, what you what does that mean?
That is the question. That is the question.
You're intentionally leaving out a bunch of. You're intentionally leaving out a bunch of. Oh my gosh!
Thank you.
All right. You're intentionally leaving out a bunch of context.
1 second. Yeah. What he's trying to say.
Can you stop interrupting me? Can I get as freaking sentence out, Carl?
You can talk with me,
it sucks, doesn't it? It sucks.
You can talk with me,
bro. The point is that you're not actually making any point or asking any of the correct questions.
All I have is one.
You're actually looking at.
Look, what he's trying to say is that in reality, there is no evidence for the sky to be beneath your feet. In any video footage, you try and show us that the sky is beneath our feet.
Anywhere.
It never fucking happens. There's no evidence for the sky to be beneath your feet.
Which is why nobody said it.
Which is not how you...
Yeah, I posted an image in 90
fucking reality upside down. RC
90 right of hand. I posted an image in live stream.
Yeah,
can you see that?
It's gonna make me. It's gonna convince me.
I need to do that so that I need to post. It's gonna help me with my explanation.
I bet
so if you see
our house being on the air.
So if you
water, land, or cloud.
If you see
three things, water, land, and clouds.
So
we want to see people walking upside down.
So I'm just gonna ignore you. I was talking to right of hand.
Nobody walks upside down.
90 right of hand. Do you see my image I posted?
Of people walking upside down.
When you see the image, see the image,
can you let Funk actually freaking finish a sentence?
Point next to the people who are walking upside down next to you.
Can you guys see the
people that are walking?
Can you guys see the image?
I see your image.
Okay,
in reality, show us where there's upside down.
That person, which is quote unquote upside down, that's only in relation to your orientation in relation to the image. If you turn that image on its head, that person will be quote unquote the right way. It doesn't change anything. No, it's you can.
That's a drawing. That has nothing to do with it.
If I hold it in this image, up isn't up in the image.
It's broke in the image.
Do you understand that?
The image is broke.
So when you look at the person which is so when you look at I'm just gonna turn down the mic. So if you look at the person who is at the lower part of the ball, when he looks the direction of his feet, that would be the.
I'm sorry. Are you showing a video or are you showing some photo? Where can I see this?
This is just a concept, like for us to understand what we are talking about.
I'm on the board. Whereabouts are you showing this so I can see it?
Picture the earth in your head and picture somebody looking down.
Yeah.
Where can I? What do I click on to see it?
For me to explain something, do I need to show you a picture of it in reality for me to be able to explain it to you?
I thought you were sharing a video or a photo.
No, I showed you an image to help me with my explanation.
Yeah, where is it?
I showed you it's in live stream.
Do you have any people that can walk next to you upside down?
It's an image.
Nobody's walking upside down, Denmark.
Can anybody walk upside down?
I turned the emote down because it's just
nobody walks upside down.
Like
well, I mean, we need to see this diagram where people are walking.
Do you see my image,
Carlos? At the same time.
Nobody's walking upside down, Denmark. There's no diagram of people walking upside down.
If I
That's what he drew. He drew a little circle with people on the bottom and the top walking around holding fucking hands.
There's no bottom.
Yeah, I'm really sorry, but I'm on my phone. Where do I click to see the image you're showing?
Live stream text.
I'm on my phone. Yeah.
the text chat of the live
Where do
stream.
we click to see real people walking upside down, Funk?
So
Earth has no bottom.
so that's the point. You are literally putting your own direction as a reference frame into the image. That's where you're doing it wrong.
You're doing. No,
No,
I'm
you
not.
are.
You're doing it.
You are doing
No,
that
I
right
only
now.
have
Because
one
you're
direction.
saying
It's the dirt.
up
The
is
direction is the
up
dirt.
is up in.
The direction
You
is
say
my
you're
dirt.
up.
Don't make my
You're
direction.
saying-
The dirt is my
You're
direction.
saying. Can you correct me if I'm strawmanning
The
you?
dirt is
So,
my
up-
direction. The dirt is down.
Yeah. Okay. So you're saying that the dirt for
The
your
dirt
reality is down,
The dirt is
but
down,
you're
yeah.
also relating that to down in. Yeah, I'm doing that, but you're also saying that down in this image is also the same down as it is for yourself in reality.
No, I don't know where you got that image. Throw it away. My image is one straight line across
Okay.
the paper, and that's your
You're
dirt.
just gonna ignore my whole explanation.
You're not gonna listen to what I'm telling you for reality, motherfucker.
Okay,
Quit
so-
laughing.
Towards
So-
the Earth is down for Mailman in
That's our
Finland,
dirt.
and for me in
Listen,
Canada,
if we got
and
to
you
look
in
at your
Yankee
dirt,
Doodle
listen
Dandy.
to it for an hour. Why you got to listen to our dirt? We got to look at your jank ass piece of dirt that didn't make no sense. Now listen to ours. Straight piece
No,
of
it
dirt.
was 3 hours trying to explain down.
And then the sky is the water, sky, air stuff up there. And then the dirt is this dirt below your feet.
I'm gonna ignore you because you just told me
So
that you
easy.
don't give a shit
No,
about
you
my
don't have to
explanation.
ignore the
So.
dirt.
What I can gather
You're ignoring the dirt and sky.
what I can
That's all
gather
you're really
from
doing.
Mailman,
you're
you're
trying to
in
show
Finland?
something. Yeah, you're trying to show some type of an image, but I think you're only trying to explain your model without any evidence.
I'm trying to explain my model. The evidence can come in a later time. It doesn't have to have the same.
We need evidence today.
Because right now we don't actually give a shit about the evidence at the current point because you are literally misrepresenting our model. That's the only problem here.
Of any model that you claim, model man.
You can't have a concept or a model without having evidence that it works.
Hell no. Fuck no. Fuck no.
Okay.
That's called a garbage ass. That's called shut the hell up.
It can be a bad model, that's fine, but I'm trying to get you to understand the model.
No, we got reality. And we got reality. We don't have a fucking model.
So,
of anything.
Does
Reality.
LIGO exist in reality, Demok?
We have reality. The dirt under my
Demok,
feet is reality.
Demok, does LIGO exist in reality?
Who the fuck? Do you fucking exist in reality?
Yes, I do. Does LIGO exist in reality?
Well, stop
Is this a
asking
hard
me
question for you, Demok?
like LIGO. Are you LIGO?
Okay.
Is LIGO your brother?
No.
Are you related
I
to
never said
LIGO?
I
Are
was
you a
LIGO.
cousin of the
LIGO is not
LIGO?
a person, Demok.
Are you related to
Start being
LIGO?
adult, or you're going to
Your
get
mom.
muted.
Is LIGO your mommy?
No, I never said it
No?
was.
Stop fucking asking me dumb questions about some retard ass jank made up piece of shit garbage. Dude,
Do you know what an as-built is, Demok?
do you know what a brain is?
Yes, I have
Do
one.
you know what a
Do
thought
you know what an
process is?
as-built is? Yes,
Let's
I
ask
do.
each other
Do you know
arbitrary questions. Do you know how to think for
Not
yourself?
arbitrary. Yes.
Do you know what a parrot is?
Okay, I've done
Do you
answering
know
your
what a
questions. Now
repeater
answer one for me.
is? You know
Explain
you're a
to the rest of us
repeater.
what an as-built
You are
drawing is
going
and what
to
its implications
repeat
are. Go ahead.
and repeat and repeat. That's all you're going to do. You want me to bet money on it, repeater?
Actually, no, I'm going to go turn your volume
All I
all the
know
way
how
down.
to do is repeat retard shit.
Yeah, there is no mod to control the Mux trolling, so I guess you have to just
We
turn
can
him down.
just turn it
You
down.
don't need a mod for that guy to repeat himself all day, do you?
How about we just all collectively agree to mute him?
I turned him to 10%, so I know when he's talking, but
Let's
I
all
can just
agree to
ignore
hear
him.
somebody's retard repetition story of
He's talking
retard.
right now, but I can't hear him either.
Yeah, let's just
So,
collectively agree to only also not respond to him. Even if you can hear him, just don't respond to him. Unless he's actually willing to start talking like a normal human being in an adult
Well, when you're willing
conversation.
to start talking about
I
reality,
think he's
then we
used to
can
being
start.
children, so it's not his
Fucking
fault.
model man.
He does seem to
retard.
be used to talking to children.
I think you're
so-
fucking insane. You have
He says a
insane
lot of
problems.
F-bombs, though, for talking to children.
Yeah, a lot of insane bombs.
Is there any other
Lot of-
flat earther
lot
that's
of
willing to talk?
abilities
Is
to
Gary
think
still
for
around? Or?
yourself, right?
What are you
You
guys
guys
talking
have
about?
the ability to think for yourself
Well,
under a
is
rock.
down for you? Is down towards the earth for you?
Like a rock.
Yes.
You think you can find the ability
Okay,
to
do you know
think?
anybody who walks upside down?
Huh?
No.
Do you know
Good, so we all
anybody?
agree.
You can find a thought under
and
a rock.
now LIGO demonstrably shows the as built for LIGO demonstrably show a curve. Why is that not good enough evidence for you, Jerry?
Show me a video of LIGO.
Well, do we have anybody in
Why
here
do you
that's
need
not
to
here?
video LIGO?
Can we get any real human?
Why don't you,
Hello,
why don't you
real
Google
humans in
as
here?
built drawings for LIGO and look at the elevation?
Non-Googles, non-parent.
I don't give a shit about looking at LIGO. Okay, I don't care. Just give me a video, and then I could ask you
They
questions
don't want to
about
talk
the
to
video.
anybody. Jerry,
Okay,
if you're not Google
Blue
or
Marble
robot,
Science did a
they
very
don't
good
want to
video
talk to you.
about
They
LIGO
only want
as
to talk
Go
to
watch it.
Google parent robots, Jerry.
That's it. That's all they want.
Google parent robots. That's all they want. Anybody who wants
Are you
to
gonna
talk
watch it?
about reality or anything real or any actual thoughts or new stuff that's being thought of or like actual thoughts, they don't want to do it. They want to go parrot, Google, parrot AI.
Yeah, I got my orientation of reality from reality. He put a drawing.
No, you don't have. You've never.
He put a drawing of a
in your life.
wall with a couple of people standing on it. Like, this is how they think.
Never
right?
in
Like,
your
I
life
get my
have you
information from
ever
reality.
experienced reality.
This
Ever.
guy drew
Yes.
a ball and put stickmen on it and was like, "Look, this is reality."
Right.
Come on.
Right. Are the as-built from LIGO a representation of
Yeah, that
reality?
your fucking planet resembles that's not reality either. Come on, get the fuck out of here with that. You don't
Chris,
live on a big
I asked you a
ass
question.
planet.
You
Nobody
have time to
does.
respond.
Any retard who wants to fucking take out a crayon and put a circle on a ball and say that's what they live on, that's fucking ridiculous.
Now he doesn't want to talk.
That's retard. That's insane. That's fucking insane.
Yeah. Was it mentioning my stickman? I thought it was quite a nice drawing.
Well, anybody who thinks they live on a fucking wall,
It's a great drawing.
It's just to get the concept on the right
But I
on the
get
right
the
track.
concept. I get the concept. I want to see the reality. I want to see that. I want to see that concept implemented in reality.
But you're
Not a
misrepresenting
drawing.
it because you're saying that the person who is on the other side of that other stickman is actually upside down, but he's not.
They are. They're upside. One's upside down, and
That's that's in relation to you. That's in relation to you in the
No,
image,
in
which has
relation to
nothing
the
to do with the
Earth.
mouth.
In relation, bro. In relation to the Earth, like
the
see the
Earth is
stickman on
always
top.
down.
Wait. Hold on. The stickman on top. If there were
There are
houses.
no down
Hey, come
anywhere.
on. Let me get this. That if there was that stickman on top and the stickman on bottom, and there was a town around that stickman, it wouldn't just be upside down in relation to that one
No,
person.
you're right.
He'd be upside down in relation to the town, the city. That's crazy. And that's not what we see in reality. We never see.
There is no
we
top
never
and
see
bottom,
somebody
Chris.
upside down in relationship to a town. We
You
never
think
see that.
if I were to rotate my image, do you think that would change my model?
Can you rotate the Earth?
No, I was just asking. Yeah, I was just asking. Okay, so let's say I don't rotate.
I'm trying to go to reality.
I'm
trying to go to reality. You're trying to ask me if you can rotate a fucking picture.
I'm not
dude.
saying if I'm not rotating the image, but if I move this man to a different place on Earth, do you think that changed my model?
Does it change? No, hold on. We're talking about the orientation of the man.
Yes, no question.
Man, you're getting buried on this issue. Like, you just
You're
don't
getting
understand up from down, and that up and down is defined by the forces acting on something, which is towards the center of the Earth. This is not hard, dude.
No, because if you take the Earth away, there's still up and down.
No. There's
You
no
can't
such
take
thing
the
as
Earth
up and
away when we're
down
talking
other
about the
than
Earth.
Other than the forces
No,
acting on something.
No, forces don't act. That's just a word you're saying.
Oh
Forces
my
are from, hang on. Forces
Yeah,
are from
let's
Star
deny-
Wars.
let's
Not
deny
getting
forces.
into that
Yeah, okay.
conversation. Forces
Yeah,
have nothing.
Have fun in your insanity.
Okay, forces have nothing to do with the orientation of people. If you're going to say
that is what
That's-
defines up and down.
bro, that guy, he's screaming into
That is what defines up and down. Is the forces acting on
Sure.
something.
Okay, up and
It's
down.
actually It's pointless to actually talk about anything in relation to this if you don't accept force that we are being pulled towards the Earth.
Okay, I don't need magical forces. Right, I don't.
It's not a magical force,
bro.
it's one that you
I know,
actually look at.
bro. If it wasn't a magical force, you would let me get it out,
It's
and then you
not
would
a
come with
magical
the.
force.
Okay, so
No,
hang
you
on.
would
So
drop
don't
it.
get triggered, bro. Bro, man, this top, bro,
No,
Jerry, look how they're triggered. Look how they're
apparently
triggered,
everybody
Jerry.
in
Look
here is
at him.
allowed to talk over
He's
each other.
fucking
We can just
triggered,
talk
bro.
whenever we want.
He's like, no.
Whatever.
Get it all out.
I
Get it
thought we
all
could
out.
just talk whenever we want to, compared to what I was.
No,
just
you can.
You can call
okay,
it relative
So
density
yeah,
RDD
since we
if
see
you prefer.
forces all around us and things are defined up and down based on those forces, you apparently fundamentally misunderstand that up and down are based on the forces that we see acting on us. Because all those forces are towards the center of the earth, we thus see that up and down is relative to those particular forces in the center of the earth.
Okay, see how I let you
Now
talk?
straw man away.
It all out?
No,
Yes,
you're
now
not
straw man
going
away.
to do that before.
See, I didn't even get to fucking talk.
No, that's okay. I think nobody.
See how you got every word out uninterrupted, and the moment
because apparently in this server, that's what we do. We just keep talking, right? When we want to talk.
No, you keep talking.
Oh, I thought that's what we were doing because I was just hearing Denmark do it and everybody else do it. That's weird.
You're doing it. Every time I talk,
really weird.
you do it.
Because
So
I
don't
didn't hear
talk about other
anybody
people.
doing anything about that before. That
Be responsible for yourself. You have to be responsible.
No, wait. I
Be
thought that's what we're doing.
self-control. Okay, so if everybody was raping women, you would rape women too. So everybody's raping women, so go rape them. Bro, you're a kid.
I thought
You're a child. Just shut up for a second.
When we want to talk. I thought that's what we do. That we just talk when everybody else talks here.
No, you talk when everybody else talks.
Oh, but what about Denmark? I didn't hear you trolling Denmark about it here about 5 seconds ago.
I haven't said a word in the last 20 minutes, dude.
You're the only one that's doing it.
You want to hear what my voice sounds like so you understand it's not what yours sounds like?
Yeah, let's let right hand straw man your position.
There you go, Sam. There you go. Yeah.
This, yeah.
It wasn't me talking.
This is how they civilly converse. This is how they talk. Yeah, you just talk all the fuck over everybody that always fucking constantly talks. It's crazy, bro.
I mean, it's
are you gonna make your point? Or are you
gonna stop talking?
I made this 5 minutes ago. That's exactly what
Let's see if I'm gonna get a timer out. Like Lauren Armstrong, I'm gonna get the timer out, and we're gonna see how long.
Okay. Get the timer
that
out.
wasn't even a second. Am I gonna have to get the timer out on you to see how long you can?
Why don't we all just chillax a bit? Calm down. This is all about meta.
They're the ones that are I'm talking.
I know it's an unfair and
I know you're now. So now you're going to talk when I talk. So instead of
I'm just trying to calm things down 99 degrees.
Well,
you're just talking about the meta.
Hang on, I don't need anyone to calm me down. I just need people to stop.
We gave him a chance to reply.
Hold on, right the fan.
He complained about not talking instead of replying.
So I'm waiting for. I can't talk when there's 100 people talking. So I'm.
There is not 100 people in the room. That's a bloviation and an exaggeration. So stop getting heated. This is a place for calmness and reasoned discussion, not for talking about meta.
Okay, so is interrupting what we do here?
No, go ahead.
Are you going to continue on with the meta, or do you want to continue on with the conversation?
Well, I just would like to know if that interrupting is going to be part of what we do.
Are you going to continue on with the meta, or are you going to continue with the conversation?
Okay, so I'm going to talk and nobody's going to interrupt me. Great. So when we're talking about orientation, now forces have no impact on orientation because the forces are not the physical ground that we stand on, which designates what's under us or down, right? So if there was no ground or sky, there would be no up or down. You would have no reference. So the physical ground is the reference of where down is. And the physical sky, the air, all of that stuff that is around us is the reference of what is up. If you go more towards the sky, that's up. More into the ground, that's down. So if you're going to say that forces dictate direction, that's ridiculous. The thing that dictates direction is an object and how it moves. It can move up, it can move down, it can move in directions. Forces, when you say force, that's not a direction, has no designation on orientation. It's just the word you're using to get the sky below the ground.
Okay, so number one, I apologize for doing that. I was actually just proving a point about how ridiculous this VC was 15 minutes ago when I was actually trying to have a discussion. I don't actually want to act like that. I was just showing that there's a real contradiction right now in how things are going. Anyway, the point of this being defined by forces, you actually said it in just different words. You said it's defined by how things move in relationship to what? The point here is that if you see that things move because of an acceleration and force that they experience, and that acceleration is gravity. Like gravity goes towards the center of the earth. And I can show you exactly why things move in that direction, why it does require that force is because on an airplane, for example, the reason that it can fly in the air is because it's generating a force of lift 180 degrees to the force of gravity. And so when it does that, it's able to stay in the air. When it doesn't, it's not able to stay in the air. So you require a force to overcome it. That also defines it as a force going down. So this idea that just the ground as a universal reference, that's just incorrect. And I can show that with the basic thing of looking at an airplane.
When you go into a quick point in just before we all sort of start. I mean, to me, as I understand it, and I've just posted it in chat, a force requires a magnitude and a direction. Yeah, so a force is a vector quantity. Okay, so does anybody disagree with that?
Yeah, I do, and I'm going to explain why. So when we're talking, he brought up the analogy of the plane. Now he's saying the force lifted the plane. No, Yoda lifted the plane with the force. In Star Wars, Yoda, bro. Remember, we don't interrupt. We don't interrupt here. Come on, foolish. Do I have to? Come on.
I'm just asking.
No. I was talking. No. You're not going to be the dick. Okay, you're not going to come in here and be a dick. No, you're not going to be a dick on a high horse. You don't interrupt. You don't interrupt. You don't interrupt. No, no, you don't interrupt.
Calm down.
No, he wants to talk about reality, then he brings up Yoda.
We stated that there will be no interruptions. We stated there will be no interruptions, and immediately you started interrupting. You immediately started interrupting.
Would you respond to that?
Why did you immediately? No.
Yoda. We don't want to talk about Yoda.
He wants to talk about reality. So when I'm in a mine, there's ground above me, beside me, and below me. How do I know which way is down if not for the force pulling me towards it?
No answer? Of
course he has no answer. He doesn't answer simple questions.
We've got people on all sides of the debate here, RTH, and I like this place because people are calm and we talk about the science. We don't talk about bullshit or some weird fucking analogies. If someone posts up a description, we can discuss it. We're not saying that you have to agree with it or you have to accept it as a fact. It's about the discussion and the understanding of both sides of the argument.
What was the question? And you have one side of the argument that's a misunderstood straitjacket side, where you think you live around about everything.
Jerry can answer my question if he wants.
And then you have the regular argument, which is a flat, level playing field, and everyone has a basis of up and down, which is not good.
What was the question?
If I'm in a mine, there is no sky above my head. There is ground above my head. There's ground beneath my feet. There's ground to the left and ground to the right.
Yeah.
Which way is up?
Drop something, and then up is opposite of that.
Oh, so the force determines. Got it. Perfect. You're right.
No. Force. There is no force.
Well, it fell, so of course it's
wrong.
Can we say that stuff falling towards the ground is an effect, and we see directionality, i.e. a vector? And what you're saying to me, Jerry, is that if we drop something and it accelerates towards the ground, then, we can then sort that out. And then up is the opposite way to that vector. Is that a fair representation of what you said?
Yeah. The term vector is a little wiggly, but go ahead.
Well, he asked if you have objection. What's your objection to vector?
No, vector is very, clearly defined. It's not
Vector is kind of relative, right? And
no, it's a force with direction. Magnitude. Direction.
It's got a number to describe it, 2 numbers to describe it. It's not. It doesn't vary from person to person. A vector is a vector, and it's not going to change. It is an objective thing.
Huh?
It's not going to be a vector 1 second and an elephant the other second. It's always going to be a vector.
You mean all the drags and the speeds?
Yeah, what's vague about the direction with magnitude?
They're all the same? What the fuck?
Can we pause here for a second?
So everything
why
moves
does
at the speed of light. Hold on a minute. Why you keep talking over everybody, whoever that is?
Can
Why
Bright
does everything move at the speed of light if everything has no...
He's left the chat.
Yeah. I choked him out yesterday, so he left today.
And for some reason, he's asking me to control myself, and I feel I'm being pretty controlled.
No, you've been the most controlled person.
Actually, this whole thing is controlled as soon as right hand left. Amazing. Well, Denmark might still be talking.
No, Denmark's being awesome in here. I don't have any problem with what he's doing. He's making his points. He's keeping it short and concise. I think the problem that we have is when people want to just sit there and bloviate and scattergun and talk.
Yeah, you weren't here when I asked them. Sorry, you weren't here when I asked them if LIGO as-built drawings represented reality.
Well, I mean, tell me what LIGO is. You're talking about some stuff that you have nothing to do with, that you're just making up words like, oh, LIGO, BIGO, CHIGO.
If LIGO was my mom.
What does it have to do with anything, though?
Isn't LIGO an acronym or something?
Has anyone actually ever been to LIGO? I doubt it.
I'm saying, my point is...
No, what's his name? Well, he's not here, but Racky has been there, and people that work there have been there.
You find it. Did you design it?
Have been there. So thousands of people.
If you design it, then ask me about it, because then I got some questions to ask
Carlos,
you.
when you're in a mine, what determines down? Ground or sky? Or forces?
When I'm on a what?
If you're in a mine, there's mines in Australia. There's mines in Canada, South Africa, everywhere. Which way is down? The ground above me, the ground to the right, the ground to the left, or the ground beneath my feet?
Logical, man.
Drop something. That's it. Period. Game over. Next question.
Okay, I
So
dropped
down is
something.
towards the center of the earth.
Is it going to always go?
Listen, do you even know what they do at LIGO? Do you know what they do at the other ones, CERN?
Down.
We know what they do. I don't think that's a line of argument that anyone's going to profit from having. You can, if you want to know yourself, you can go look it up on the internet. It's clearly available.
You know, to know what they do?
One is a particle accelerator, the other is a laser interferometer measurement to measure gravitational waves. We know what they are. This is irrelevant to the current discussion where we're trying to find out when we're in a cave, how do we know what's up from down?
So you believe, right, with your gippy ass, that they're detecting a fucking wave of gravity?
If you want to talk about that, we can talk about that after this topic. But a question has been proposed about how we figure out down from up in a cave where we have rock on every side of us.
Your LIGO ass with your lion ass to the LIGO.
Hey, Jerry, would you mind actually, like, you are a reasonable person. Can you please respond to this question? Like, I know that everybody keeps saying drop something. So
Yeah, that was me, yeah.
We look at it move. That is a force acting on something. That's how something goes from not moving to moving.
We drop a helium balloon. Yeah, we know all about it.
So, Jerry, my question is, how do you know which way is up or down?
You just drop something. That's it. Now, you want to know why?
No, we all know why.
But, Jerry, we know why something goes from stationary to moving. It's because a force acts on it. So you're just restating what we're saying.
Okay. Why does something move without a force, Jerry?
I don't know. So here's my...
We do very carefully, without resistance.
The thing is, the problem is for you guys is that by definition,
under your ass.
By definition, everything that starts to move is experiencing a force. By definition.
No.
Yes. What is it then? F equals ma. A.
By definition of a force, that is what's happening.
Force of what? The what is what exists.
It doesn't matter what the force is to determine that it is a force. Anything experiencing acceleration is by definition experiencing a force.
No, you're experiencing
resistance. Jerry, you said no. So that's a statement that you acknowledge. What causes an acceleration if not a force? Go ahead.
There is no force.
See, now you're switching it.
I agree with Demok that if something's falling, it's because there is the lack of force.
No.
Yeah, you could.
That's
you
right.
could
You don't
think of
have
it
the
that
ability.
way.
You don't have a resistor. Listen, if you sit
You've
your ass
taken away
in a
the normal
fucking
force,
chair,
perhaps.
listen, if you
Yeah,
sit in a
in
chair
a very...
and I take away the chair, your ass
This is
hits
a
the
good
ground.
explanation
The only
of
thing
general
stopping your ass
relativity.
from
Actually,
hitting the ground is a resistor, the chair. Now shut it, shut it, shut it.
In a different paradigm, you could say that something falling is not experiencing any force, but right now we're talking about from our relative perspective, which means it'll always have a force. We do not experience relative.
No, there's nothing pushing it down. It's just the lack of force. That's why it's falling down.
It's a lack of a normal force, you could say.
I think the problem is we don't just see something moving; we see an acceleration.
Yes, and as soon as you have an acceleration, you have to have a force.
Yeah, so that's a change in velocity over time.
Yeah.
Which I think we'd all agree that happens when you drop an object that is denser than the medium it's in.
And the problem you guys experience
Carlos
is that...
was trying to respond.
Oh, sorry,
I
didn't.
That's
Go
good.
ahead, Carlos.
I'm just trying to say there's nothing to slow it down. So there's no force pushing it down. It's just lack of force.
Dun, dun, dun. There you go. There's no resistor, baby.
Okay.
So
Is the implication then that acceleration is an automatic thing that happens on Earth, and you need something to stop that acceleration?
then...
No, I'd say
That's what he's saying.
acceleration doesn't exist as its own thing. The objects exist. There is no acceleration.
Movement, but the way the object is moving is what we call acceleration. It is still a physical thing happening to the object, which we call acceleration.
No, it's moving is a verb. It's not a noun.
You should not compare the acceleration with the force. You should not compare them against each other. Acceleration has its own potential and its own limitations.
Yes.
It's not one-on-one with force. I'm sorry.
Problem with that argument, the problem with that is that by definition, anything causing acceleration is a force. By definition of the word.
Well,
if you want to redefine definition,
whoever made that was stupid because your fucking gravity word isn't a force, and that's the one you keep trying to put everything under.
It's an inertial force. It's still a
No,
force.
it's
It's an inertial force.
It says not a force. I repeat, not a force. Gravity is not a force. You want to go read that again in front of the class? Gravity is not
an inertial force.
It is not a force.
You're acting like a child covering their ear screaming something.
You keep repeating your fucking self like you can't hear me, motherfucker.
Democ,
not a force.
Democ, you are technically correct.
N-O-T.
Democ, you are technically correct in saying that gravity itself, as in its entire phenomenon,
Listen,
Democ, hold up. It causes a force. That
to be honest, calling it gravity itself is an inertial force.
It's never going to be
a cause a force. It also is an inertial force.
Listen, you guys want to make it a force so hard. Go play with it at home. It's not a force, and it's not going to be a force. Not because you want it to, and not today, and not tomorrow.
It is by definition, Damok. I know you don't like definitions in reality, but it is by definition.
The definition is not a force. Go read that again, stupid.
You go look it up yourself. Then.
1 second, Gummy Bear. Let's get point it.
So, it says clearly it is not a force. I mean, that's clear as fucking day.
Something at rest will stay at rest until something happens. Yeah.
I don't know what shit'll do. I haven't seen every instances, so I couldn't tell you.
Okay, so
this is the problem. He believes in magic.
You're disagreeing fundamentally with laws of motion.
I would.
Who made the law of motion?
Right, because
I didn't know the law of motion had a law of motion like that. A man made it. I didn't know that was how that worked.
The very first thing is an object in motion will stay in motion. No one's ever seen that here. That's never been proven.
Any of this shit, really.
Say that motion has one vector, which is from up to down. What about the other vectors?
Well,
well, you can take like the wind.
Well,
The wind is a good example of a force.
Never by any side, and then we can watch this happen. When we can't even see that happen, where the fuck do we start our premise?
Well, a sailboat will stay fixed in its position until, a force acts upon it. That could be the currents, that could be, raising your sails and then utilizing the wind. It could be turning on your motor. We can use something like an anchor to resist that force and keep it in a relatively stable position.
Right.
We can moor that boat against a dock and it really won't move much at all.
So if you blow on a brick, it's not going to move. So that's like gravity.
If I blow on a brick, I'm going to apply a force to it.
Hold on.
If I blow on a brick, I'm going to apply a force to it, and that force will be resisted
but the brick could be 10
mass.
tons big.
And sorry, just in the middle of the sentence, Debok. And it's going to be resisted by its mass and the friction. Those are the two general things that I'd have to overcome.
So your gravity didn't do shit. If your gravity is only your breath, right? Your imagination of a fucking thing that's supposedly happening.
Well, that's not what I said, is it?
Listen, but this is how you have to imagine gravity. The weakest fucking thing ever. That's not a force. I don't care what you said. Listen. Gravity is the weakest thing you've ever thought of in your fucking life, ever. The weakest of everything. Of all things, plus times 10. Plus the weakest times 10 of that. It's the weakest of that. The weakest, right? And it's nothing. Doesn't exist. But yet it's doing all this work when you can't even fucking blow a 10-pound rock anywhere.
So, question: is it the weakest of all forces, or doesn't it exist? Which are
it's the weakest of something that doesn't exist. There's your answer.
If it's the weakest of something, then it has to have existence, or it doesn't exist and therefore applies no force.
Do you comprehend? Listen.
Which is the two?
This is your
Hold on.
idea.
If I draw 5 shapes on one fucking thing, only one of them's going to be right, man. Fuck all this shit. You can't just keep matching what you want to some. The shit doesn't work, so you don't keep adding it and duct taping it to the fucking wall trying to shit stick it. The shit doesn't work.
If I have a brick sitting on a chair, right? A brick sitting on a chair, and I remove the chair, the brick's going to fall down. You're saying that there's this constant force pushing that brick down all the time. When I remove the chair, that force is going to push that brick down to the ground. Or are you saying something different? Are you saying what's your other analogy? Can you give us another example?
Is there going to be a hole through the chair from the brick, from the gravity pulling it through? Is there going to be a brick design through the chair?
We can do the opposite thing. We can raise an object upwards, and we can measure the amount of force. So we can use.
No, can we measure the marks?
Can I just finish my point, Demo? I'm really trying to.
Well, but what he's asking you is we need to measure the force in the marks on the wood on the object. Like if the gravity's putting 8 million pounds of force, we need to measure that.
Do you fish?
Well, that's the difference between.
Can I give a force? Yeah. Can I give an example?
Fish scale is a great example.
Weight and gravity are different. They're not the same thing. And when you're talking about something like oil and water, oil's going to float on the top. Whatever density is going to be in a different gradient. Gravity, density, and weight are 3 different things. They're not the same thing.
No, we're not saying they are. But what will happen is if you've got a force acting on stuff, and some stuff is denser, i.e. there's more shit in the volume than you have in another volume, then it's going to have a greater effect and it will move down through that medium.
Yeah, but then gravity goes out the window.
Why?
Because it's only relying on density and weight.
Is it only relying on density and weight?
Gravity was such
I thought weight was a product of gravity as applied to the mass.
Everything would fall to the ground.
No,
everything that's less dense than the medium, because the medium, everything's being pulled downwards, which means that if you've got something that's less dense, it's going to have the more dense stuff move past it. So and therefore, that's why oil floats, why helium balloons go up in our model. Is that
that's why gravity is such a weak force? But
the thing is, we have we have buoyancy, which is an effect of weight, and weight is an effect of gravity. So, and all these three things being effects of each other, what's the word? Equals what we see in reality, where things will either go down or float up like a helium balloon because the air around it has more weight and will be pulled down below the less weight of.
No, all you need is gravity and buoyancy. I mean,
Oh,
buoyancy.
gosh.
You only need buoyancy and weight.
Yes, but that's only because buoyancy is an effect of weight, and weight is the result of gravity. So you're taking the resulting things and saying this is all we need.
Come on, guys. It's been debunked by Einstein in 1915.
Yeah, you keep saying the word
Come on,
gravity.
the current science, gravity is the bending of space-time. I don't know what you guys are talking about. It's the same arguments every day, man. You guys have nothing new to the
Because you
table.
are incorrect.
Oh, I'm incorrect. So gravity is not the bending of space-time anymore.
Gravity may be the bending of space-time, but that still results in an inertial force which visualizes itself as a force. No, what I said
Gravity
is
is not a
exactly what
force.
Einstein is saying. It is an inertial force
Listen,
which
mate.
manifests itself to be a force to our relative reference frame because we live within it, not outside
Professor
it.
Brian Cox tells us very clear that there is no force of gravity at all.
There is no force of gravity, but gravity is an inertial force.
No, it's not.
It is, by definition.
I think this guy's broke. I think he's broke, George.
You might think I'm broke, but the problem is that you are simply basing your argument of inconsistencies in your own argument. It does not work out in reality.
You're trying to debunk Einstein. Good luck, man.
No, Einstein never said what you were trying to say that he said.
Hold on 1 second. To be fair, going back, he is kind of weirdly right in a way because it's the equivalence principle that he's invoking here.
No.
Yes.
If you tell me where Einstein's grave is,
What do you mean? How is he invoking the equivalence principle?
Bring them back to life.
The equivalence principle was basically his view on how we observe acceleration within our reference frame and how that comports to the bending of the fabric of time and how geodetic motion is changed as you go through that bending of the fabric of space-time.
It's all based
there you go. So not a force.
Relativity, yes, not the force. Yes, it's
Which
relativity.
is why, but the effect that Einstein then goes on to describe is then the observed acceleration, which near the ground is about 9.8 meters per second squared. And that's why it's called the equivalence, because it's an equivalent force. So it's the effect of being in the gravitational field.
No, that is a concept. It's a concept. It's a concept. Pseudo-Romanian force space. It's a concept.
But the thing is, nowhere would Einstein ever disagree with calling gravity an inertial force. Nowhere.
No, it's a concept, my friend. Gravity is simply a concept.
Nowhere does mass attract mass. That's the problem.
It doesn't mean anything.
Listen, tell me, Bear, you don't have mass attracting mass. You don't have anything, dude. What the fuck? Come on now, get real.
The thing is, an inertial force is literally.
That's a comic
Demok, please.
Stop reading out of comic books, dude. You don't have mass attracting mass. You're fucking lost. Can you show us this, please? Or stop talking about it because you're just making shit up. I mean, unless you got some new studies that we didn't know about or we didn't see, or mass attracting mass breakthrough we don't know about. I mean, fuck, we're waiting.
This is a 2015 argument, man.
Are you done interrupting them?
Shit. Are you done repeating?
Tell me when you're done interrupting, and we can keep.
Well, tell me when we can repeat some new shit.
I turned him down to 10%.
How many Tor is the vacuum of space?
There is no the vacuum of space. You'll have different areas of. You'll have different areas having different pressures.
Okay, deep space, 10 to the negative 17 torr, right?
That is one number that is presented, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
but
it's
that's a
14
positive number. Did you know that's a positive number? That's a good number.
Yeah. Pressure is a
Next
positive
to
number.
that
You
distance.
do not have negative.
Pressure? How do you have negative pressure if you don't have negative? What the fuck's going on here?
That is
How
what
do
I
you even have, listen, Gummy Bear, why do you even put a negative? Why are we even saving negative? If there's no negative?
okay, you can have negative relative pressure, you cannot have negative pressure.
without a barrier.
So you can have all this shit, but you can't have it, but you can't have leprechauns, but you can have negative leprechaun pressure. Okay.
If that's how you want to see that, then sure, but that's just a
Well, that's how
complete
you boys do it.
misunderstanding of anything.
You can't have this, but you can have negative leprechaun.
There's only one reason why you need gravity, and that is to explain the difference between the pressure on Earth and your made-up fairy tale vacuum. That there is a magical force creating a barrier between these two mediums.
We also need to explain. We also need to explain why we fall down or why
the oceans
apples
around
fall
the sphere.
down. Also explain. Go ahead.
Whether you want to invoke Newton or whether you want to invoke Einstein, the atmosphere still sticks to the Earth. And what we don't have is a magical glass dome that would not obey any of the properties of materials as we understand them sitting above us.
It's so you don't get afraid when you can't get out of the fucking when you can't get out of the air itself. You can't get into that next medium, so you don't get all scared and shit.
No, it's the fact that we observe a gradient in the atmosphere, and that's not explained by the ideal gas law or Boyle's law without a force pulling it down that attenuates over distance.
Without the containing, you mean?
Pulling anything down has to do with anything. Listen, I'd say it's more of a. I'd say it's more of a it's less being let up than anything being pulled down. And there's nothing being pulled down. Listen, when you put a fucking scale out, the scale doesn't say 14 point whatever psi, does it? And if it doesn't, then you have a problem.
If it's an absolute, scale, yeah, that's called a barometer.
If you no, listen, dipshit motherfucker. If you don't have to zero out
do the insults, that's against several rules, please.
No, it's not an insult. It's a dipshit. Dipshit's not an insult.
No. That is, you're insulting me. You called me a motherfucker. I don't fuck my mother. And you called me a dipshit, both of which are invective. We're not allowed to do that on this server. Please don't do it.
See, there are some conditions which apply with allows you to say motherfucker.
Either way, we know there's a gradient, but that has nothing to do with the price of tea in China. That's not anything to do with your guys' story of gravity or anything like that. None of it. It doesn't have anything to do with anything pulling down. If something was pulling down your scale, the thing that reads a resistance or a pressure on the top base of that motherfucker would read something pushing down on it.
Mm-hmm. And again, what I'm saying is, aren't scales calibrated?
Yeah, that's a cool story you keep saying. Calibrated to what? Your 14 pounds of gravity? I don't see it.
But what does a barometer measure?
Well, I wish something could show us your gravity.
No, I'm asking a question. Barometer is another measurement of weight.
Your force. Where's the reading of your gravity force? Where is your 14 pounds or 14 pounds of gravity being pushed down on everything? Where's that at?
I'll answer that question when you tell me what a barometer measures.
Listen, retard, that's nothing but electrical continuity.
Please don't insult me. I'm not a retard. That is
Stop
not
fucking adding electrical fucking properties to shit you don't understand. Then
I'm just asking you to find what a barometer measures.
You're talking about electricity that you don't comprehend. What's your problem?
What does a barometer measure, Demok?
Works.
Can we not just agree to not talk to Demok until he stops this behavior?
It's a reading of
I'll ask you the same question.
It's a reading of electrical continuity from pressure, you fucking retard, from resistance. Stop acting stupid.
Okay. Please stop insulting me. I'm asking you kindly.
I just told you it's electrical continuity, but you're too dumb to get it.
I have an honest question.
So a barometer measures electrical what?
Yes.
Does anyone know what the largest barometer is on Earth? How big is that?
Doesn't matter. It's not
well,
doing
Torcelli's
shit.
shower was the one he did was water until
It
Galileo
doesn't do
pointed out
shit
might be
but
an idea
measure
using
electrical
mercury.
continuity. Get fucking
what I'm trying to say is that if you had a barometer that was something that you could hold in your hand, or maybe even put in your car, or as opposed to a barometer that you could make the size of a building, wouldn't you expect that you'd get a really different result?
Well, that's the weird thing. No, that was the
Yeah,
Torcelli
you would get a
experiment, though,
different
wasn't
result
it?
if you take it up higher.
And when you take it up higher, fun enough, the pressure changes because we know that there's a gradient in our atmosphere.
Because you
that
don't know
gradient
shit.
generally we would assume
Shut
would be
up,
caused by a
fucking
force
liar.
that weakens over
Stop
distance,
lying.
Demo.
Stop lying.
Of course. Right.
It's because you'll never control
Container,
the
you mean?
continuity or the volt in the air. When you go higher, the voltage changes too. Shut the fuck up. The temperature changes along with the voltage. So is the resistance. You don't have a fucking clue
So
what
are you
you're
saying that the voltage is different in winter during summer then, because it's warmer at the ground during summer and it's colder at the
Everything a
ground
human
during
ever
winter?
reads foolish. They're getting electrical continuity. Stop talking like you know
What
something,
do you mean
dude.
continuity?
Stop acting like you, dude. Listen to
What
me
is
real
electrical continuity?
clear.
Can you unpack that for me?
Continuity gives you your measure or reading
Yeah,
across.
what is electrical continuity? Can you unpack that for me?
Yeah, you dumb bitch. It's everything you think is gravity.
No, bring it into something like Maxwell or some science that we have rather than just using the
It
word.
comes like in the form of digital numbers on a screen from whatever pressure or resistance you set it at. So you can
I'm just
set
asking
whatever.
to unpack electrical continuity, Demo.
You take two wires, right, and you set up a resistor, right, and you have a
That's
certain
potential
resistance.
difference. Cool.
It'll give you a reading, right? So you can set it at so many ohms, so many watts, so many milliamps, so many whatever.
So if I'm measuring resistance, what am I going to measure resistance in, Demo?
You retard! You're a fucking retard, dude. Shut up.
No. What am I going to measure resistance in? Let's pick one of those things.
Okay, retard. Okay, you fucking retard.
Why are you insulting me again? I'm asking a perfectly simple question. I'm saying, okay, we're talking about resistance. We put a resistor in between two bits of wire.
Because you
What
keep
unit are we going to measure that resistance in?
You haven't stopped talking yet, retard. ADHD. You have not stopped talking one fucking time. So, for one, it's electrical continuity. That's what you measure for everything. I don't care what twerp you fucking grew up reading or what goofy cocksucker you listen to. They're all fucking rejects, and they read electrical continuity. I don't care
You're
if it's
talking
the
about continuity meters. Okay, now I'm something like that. What are we going to measure resistance in? What unit?
Retard. Are you done? Retard.
I'm just asking what unit you measure resistance in. It's again a very simple question, and all you're doing is insulting me.
I'm trying to help you, retard motherfucker.
I don't know is an acceptable answer.
You can't accept help if all you do is keep talking to yourself, retard ADHD. This is where you get.
So again, back to the specific question. What unit are you measuring resistance in?
Retard. Hey, retard. Are you home? Retard. Are you fucking home? You listen. When retards understand that electrical continuity is every name they give every motherfucking thing, from here to up your ass to around the corner, I don't give a fuck what it is, from the light in your battery to something working in your house to fucking electrical continuity out in the field to a fucking static on a balloon. It's all
Just so you don't know. Just so you don't know. You don't have a fucking clue, because that's the truth.
That's what I'm telling you. You don't have a fucking clue. It's all electrical continuity.
No, sir. It's you that doesn't have a clue, Denmark. You're the one that doesn't. You're the one that's clueless.
Retard number two.
It's a very simple question. What is electrical
retard number
measured
two?
In?
Retard.
What's wrong?
Hey,
what's wrong? You can't come up with an answer. It's a simple word.
Retard.
It's only got three fucking letters in it, dipshit.
Hey, retard. I haven't fucking stopped talking yet, bitch. I didn't ask you to speak. I don't remember nobody asking a fucking retard reject to talk. So, when we ask a fucking retard reject to talk, Blue Marble can speak up. So,
please don't insult people on all sides. I'm saying this because it's not going to move the discussion forward, and it just really shows who has an argument and who doesn't. I asked a very simple question. I'll restate it. What do we measure resistance in?
Not with gravity.
What unit do we use?
Only got 3 letters in the word. Come on.
Continuity is how they do everything, from your fucking barometer to fucking measurements to pressures to resistance to tests to chemicals to fucking gases to everything. They get an electrical spark from fucking sound to smell to hear to sight, you stupid motherfuckers. So stop asking me what the fuck electrical continuity is, you dumb bitch. Your fucking brain, every sense you fucking have, works on it.
That. I did ask you what you meant by electrical continuity, and can you unpack it? But I asked you specifically, what do we measure resistance in?
Retard. You asked me what electrical continuity was, and you've never stopped talking. So
no, I've asked you, what do we measure resistance in? What unit do we use?
How the brain works. So when you don't comprehend how the fucking eyeballs take in sight, go talk to a doctor. When you don't comprehend how sound is through electricity, go talk to a fucking doctor. When you don't comprehend that your fucking smell is through electricity, go talk to a fucking.
Does anybody else agree with Demok's position?
Well, Druss, what he's doing is he's providing an alternative. What you're looking for is a unit to measure that alternative. Mm-hmm. That's pretty much it. And like, he knows that the answer is PSI, but he's trying to just get across that his alternative of electrical continuity doesn't have a unit. So that's pretty much it.
Yeah, he could have said that rather than the insults.
Well, what science does is says, okay, Druss, we got 5 here for that. That'll be that. And you put that down in your book and you parrot that. And we got 72 over here for this, will be electrical continuity for this. And then when we go over here to your power box, it's going to be this many ohms or watts or AC DC, right?
Well, AC/DC is just alternating current, direct current. Yeah, you're right.
Different examples, dude, of things and what they do, how they use
AC/DC
the same
is the delivery mechanism.
All the same shit, buddy. Exactly.
Yeah. AC/DC is ampage is your work, how much force you can put through. Ohms is your resistance.
Well, there
Farad
you go.
Is how we capacitate that electricity at a particular point in the circuits.
It's all electricity, son. If I take an if a lightning bolt shocks you in your dick, are you going to name all kinds of stuff? Or are you just going to say, wow, I'm shocked?
Do you know what a continuity meter actually does?
Man, let me tell you something. When a fucking lightning bolt shocks you, what did it do?
It basically overcame the resistance of my skin through the amount of ampage in the electrical bulbs. And in reference to the voltage of that charge. And because I am grounded, therefore the electrical current will pass through me. It'll take the path of least resistance.
Yeah, it came out of the fucking air or the ground, right?
Well, you have an electron stream going up and then a return reciprocal from the cloud, yeah.
Well, how come you didn't have to plug that in?
Because again, it's about potential difference, which is where I started this conversation.
Oh, potential. What about that word when you leave out of fucking gravity?
Gravitational potential? That is a big thing in gravity.
It has to do with electricity itself and the fucking very thing that can, like, control the potentiality of something. Like, so, like, you got flow and current, right? You got something that control the flow or the current within a medium, right? Which would be electricity.
Current's your ampage.
But you leave electricity out of that, but then electricity is going to give you your 14 point whatever. So you're going to use it for what you need it for, but you're not going to use it for what you're supposed to use it for. That's cool. So you just grab little pieces of electricity and say, oh, well, that's my 14 PSI. There's my fucking gravity right there. I don't think so. I don't fucking think so at all.
What about things like ceramics? I mean, how does that work with the electrical model?
What about it?
Well, ceramics are highly resistant. You know, that's why we use them as an insulator.
What is your